this is NukeVa. And I love her a lot, quite a lot. She's one of my favorite frames, and I'm excited to finally talk about a frame that doesn't suck. But as you just saw, I use NukeVa in a different way that most people use her, because let's be really honest, most people just use NukeVa as a tool, and you don't need much to use a Warframe as a tool, because you can do this, and you have a 75% slow, so you can defend shit really well, like an interception or anything, and this is NukeVa, and she works really fine as a tool, but you can absolutely just do this, and you get overextended, and now you have a speed ban. Now you can get relics faster or open relics faster or literally anything. So you don't need much to make this work. But of course, that was not my build. This is my build. So what do I use NukeVa for? I use NukeVa to just fucking nuke shit and be safe most of the time. And also, because let's be honest, I just really enjoy the way she looks. I really enjoy the way she looks, and I try to make a somewhat close cosplay to Tali from Mass Effect, because she kinda looks like her with this skin and the helmet and everything. So yeah, that is just a personal preference. But again, I spent a lot of work on her, and I'm gonna explain why. Most of the things that I use on her are just personal choices. So let's see. What does she need? She needs to survive. That's the first thing that she needs. And she has a kinda good survivability too on her kit, which is damage reduction with each particle that you have active on her one. The problem with this ability though is that it only works on health. And a frame that has this low health is not gonna survive just on that. So we'll go into it later, but first thing that we need is another type of survivability, so we can get it that with Condemn, just like I did with Banshee. This is not my preference with NukeVa, and I have another playstyle that fits me better, but I'm not gonna defend it being more viable because it's not. I'll talk about that later. But with Condemn, you can get big fuck of shields. And with big fuck of shields, it's really hard for you to keep it killed. And if for some reason the shields go out, you most likely have around 90% damage reduction with her one, which will be really good with Umbral Vitality. So between this and this, and Umbral Vitality and everything, you will be really survivable. Okay? So now, how do we get that many charges on her one? Stacking every fucking duration thing that you can get your hands on. So, Narrow-Minded, which I don't have it fully leveled, and I'm not gonna. This is the part of the video where you get really angry because I don't have this mod fully leveled up. What you need to understand is that I would rather spend the endo and the credits on other mods, because I'm always trying builds, than leveling this up to the max and destroying other of my builds. So yes, this build would be better with a Narrow-Minded, pump that to the max. And I might even just use the plat and buy a fully leveled up one, so I don't break other of my builds. But yeah, you should just use Narrow-Minded, because not only it gives you a lot of ability duration, which gives you a lot of charges on your one, it also gives a negative range, which allows the one to be less likely to drop charges, because every single time you're near an enemy, a charge tries to go and kill that enemy, which it usually fails at, because it doesn't do that much damage. So you just want to keep this on all the time and not lose the charges and have as many as you can. So again, duration, a lot of duration, more duration, and because we can actually keep the shields because we are using Condemned, you can use multi-efficiency, which gives us even more duration, and I wouldn't need to use this if I had Narrow-Minded fully leveled, but again, I just explained the reason. And just because I like her so much, more duration with a Crimson Shard and more duration with 2 Tower Forge Crimson Shards. So the question now is, do you need this now? Nah, you don't need this. What you can do is just drop this, which is 100% my preference. And if you have Arcane Energize like me, you don't need this. And then you can just literally add this. You can just add this. And to be really honest, the build would be even better if you did this. Because it's just slightly more duration, but it also has the other passive, which is really good. So yeah, you could just do that. And this would be a... But because I have this much investment into her, this becomes like a flex slot where I can just... I feel like casting shit quicker today, and I can just add that, or literally whatever that you need, or even flow, because if you just use flow or prime flow here, you're gonna get so much energy from Arcane Energize that you're not gonna run out. Like, you're not gonna run out because you have a big budget. But again, like that is my preference, and I just fucking destroy the build for no reason. So I'm gonna do this and do this. So this is really clear what it does, especially when you mix it with this, which gives you damage reduction, with the negative range, and with the duration. And on top of that, we get adaptation. So between all of that shit, you are really tanky. But you need to keep in mind, you need to take a look at your shields, because the moment they go out, even with all of this damage reduction, you can still die. Like, you can absolutely still die, so you just need to keep an eye on it. And it's also necessary to say that her one only affects health. It doesn't affect shields. So that is the reason you need to take a look, because you're gonna lose the shields. Like, you 100% will lose them. But that is a more active game plan than just using whatever arcane gives you shield regeneration and then just forgetting about it. Because you can absolutely do that, but you can do that on any frame. And I like to use the parts of the frames for their intended purpose, because, I don't know, because I like to use the mechanics that are given to me. And that is the reason for this build. In order to keep the one going, there's an augment that allows you to recast it, but I wouldn't recommend it, mainly because this exists. Whenever you kill an enemy that is affected by your 4, and you will try to be using your 4 the whole time, you will get charges back. And this is the way that we maintain it. And that's pretty much it. You can add literally whatever fucking Exilus mod that you want. I just have it for the 30 chance to resist knockdown, because I still don't have Prime Sure-Footed. Because when I was offered the chance to get it on the login screen, I didn't know that much about this game as I do now. So I'm kind of fucked, and that's the reason I use this. But you could just add whatever here. Whatever fits your style, just use it, because you don't need the ability strength. Because even if I drop this, it's still on 70% slow with the 4. And with it, it's just the same. Slow is capped at 75%. But what this does is slightly help your 2. Slightly. And that is the reason that I use NukeVa as a DPS. Because you can, for the most part, DPS really well with her. Because if you get a weapon like my Tigris Prime, or an Exergis, or anything that can do a lot of damage in a single instant, you can just nuke a whole bunch of guys. And it is really satisfying to do. Literally, that's the reason. And it goes even more ridiculous if you actually charge your arcane first, because I have multi-shot on my arcane. So arcane is now charged, and it does a lot of damage. Which you wouldn't know, because they just basically died in an instant. So what's the difference, really? At that point, what's the difference? And I know what you're thinking. Bro, I have like 6 or 7 frames that can just go ahead and nuke a room. And I know. I also have them. And they do their job really well. Like, I know, bro. Like, I know that you can just literally AFK with Sarin and watch enemies die. I know. But is that fun? Of course, this is not fair to Sarin, because you would usually just have way more enemies affected, and the damage number would be in the literal thousands. But, yeah. I just wanted to be really clear. That that is the reason for me using Tali, which that's what I call her. And yeah, like, this is a perfectly good, usable frame that can survive on Steel Path. So if you like her playstyle, I hope you use her for that, because she's criminally underrated. Because, again, everybody knows Nova's good as a tool. Everybody has a Nova for the purposes which most people use a Nova for, but nobody actually uses her. There's only one recommendation, though. Keep in mind what levels you are getting her into, because you might be fucking your team up. Let's say you are doing a Netra cell in the newest expansion, and you use your 4 a lot. You need to kill enemies in the circle. If you cast your 4, your teammates are not gonna be happy, because the mission is gonna take a long fucking while to finish. So, yeah. Keep in mind, I like to play solo. Whenever I can, I like to play solo. Not because I don't like people or anything, but because I like to really try my stuff, really put my shit to the test. And there's no better way of doing that than just going solo in this game. But I've already shown you this on the Tigris video, but let me show you something. But for this test, I won't be using Condemn, because, again, it's too easy. Just press the button and you survive. That's it. For this test, I will be using my actually preferred playstyle, which is the exact same build, but using Pillage. And this is for the people that like having fun, not for the people that just don't want to die. The problem with Pillage and Nova is that because you need that much duration, it takes a long fucking time to come back and give you the shields. So you need to really plan out your casts. And that is the reason I love it. Because you need to fucking think. Also, the armor strip is completely unusable on her, because you're definitely gonna be running narrow-minded, and the ability range negative is just gonna destroy the range on Pillage. Because, yeah, duration affects how long the ability goes for, but that's just visual. That is how much time it takes to come back and gives you the shields, and it's not helping the armor strip. Which, thank fucking God, because it would be absolutely broken if it did. So, this is the way I play her, and again, I've already done this test, but I was focusing on the shotgun, not on the Warframe. So let me show you how well she does against all odds, against hordes and hordes and hordes of enemies.
Scans show Grenier harvesting NukeVa nearby. Set off the alarms to drop.
Of course, I know this build is really expensive, and this build is really niche, and this build is really specific for one purpose. But you probably already know that that's what I do. If you watch my channel, you know that's what I do. You need to be mobile and get the shields. Now we wait for the arcane to charge for efficiency. Now we get the health defense, and now we can go to town with them. Again, plan your casts of your 3. This is a cast moment. And there you go. Probably 1 second later and I would be absolutely dead.
Prepare for life support.
And of course, from time to time you'll find an enemy that you have armor stripped, but most of the time you won't, because they will be dead already because of your 2. And there are a lot of other weapons that work really well with her 2, but I think I have the suspicion that her 2 actually only absorbs the damage itself, like the big number. So shotguns work really well because you're doing a lot of ticks of damage. For fuck's sake, are you gonna... That's what I wanted to see. So we could look for a big room. Let's see if we can find the big room. Oh, this is a big place. Wasn't the room I was looking for though, but... Yeah, and now the enemies are gonna take a long while to come here because her 4 is really good. I don't know if you have noticed, but her 4 works really well. How did I miss that shot, bro? Am I stupid?
Life support incoming.
That's your 1. Boop. Boop. I also really enjoy the sound design on her is really cool on her too. Look at this big corridor of enemies, all dead.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Seals come back just in time to watch me destroy every single one of them. Boom. And it's a shame because I was looking for like the big circular room that is on the fortress, but it seems like I won't be able to find it. It sometimes just does not spawn or is really well hidden, so it is what it is. Nah, it doesn't seem like it's here. And of course, the only Archon fragment that I've not mentioned, that I have on her, is the parkour speed one. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that won't like that at all. And that's literally 100% optional, personal preference. And I just use it because I really enjoy being really speedy. But some people are not that good at... parkouring in this game. So they will literally survive less if they use that. So, yeah. It's just personal preference. And I really like it. Oh, Torment, is that you? Hello. Oh, wow. Let me fix this shit. Like, yo, but you haven't fucking one-shot the Acolyte. I know. Let me have fun.
The raid is off to a successful start. When you need it, extraction is ready. Critical life support levels. Extraction is your best option.
Like, if I wanted to be meta, would I be using the Psylocke Incarnon? Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, but it is fun, bro. Like, actually needing to aim your shots in this game, you know, sometimes like, kind of engaging, you know, actually having to think in this game is kind of enjoyable. You should try that. Because let me tell you a secret, people will absolutely optimize the fun out of the games. Like, it has always happened everywhere. And, bro, like, don't let people tell you how to play. If you're having fun, just fucking do it. As long as you're not telling people, yo, this is the meta strategy when it is fucking bullshit. As long as you're not doing that and misinforming people, because there are good reasons to use meta shit. Like, maybe you actually need to farm something and you don't have a lot of time in your life. So that's cool, bro. Like, just use the meta stuff. So as long as you're not misinforming people on what's actually really, really, really good, just have fun, you know? Literally just have fun. And you'll be much happier playing games if you're having fun. But of course, I actually believe that NukeVa is quite good. And she's quite good because with this build, she can survive almost anything. She can nuke the normal enemies that you can find. And you can do that, doing it really safely. And it's also a really good tool in a lot of situations. But the main point of this video is that she's not only that, she can actually do some really decent work. Also really important, I'm a Wisp player, and I've never taken that into account for anything, or even taken that much of a thought about it. But for some reason, this skin's button makes me go stupid. I just wanted to let you know that. And that's all for today, I guess. Why do I do this to myself?